the starting point for installing Windows 7 Beta. This is Neville Hobson. Today is Saturday, January the 17th, 2009, and I'm installing Windows 7 Beta. So I'm going to record this whole sequence as it happens, as I'm seeing it. So I'm installing it on a Dell XPS 420 desktop machine that already has Windows Vista on it, Windows Vista Home Premium, in fact, the version of that OS that came with the equipment. And what I've done is create a new partition on the C drive. This particular machine's got twin hard drives. The second one I use for documents and data and stuff like that. The primary drive is where the operating system and all the programs are. So I'm just looking at how the screen looks as the beta loads from the CD, or rather the DVD, and I'm going to just run through the process. So this camera may get a bit jerky as I hold it in one hand and type in another. So English, yep. English, yep. United States, actually I want to put UK because that's where I am. Let me just zoom in a bit so you can see it. English, United Kingdom, keyboard, United Kingdom, enter your language, other preferences, yeah. Okay, I think I'm good to go with that. I pay very close attention to which partition I install it on, obviously, so I don't know when in the sequence that'll happen, but let's see. Okay, here we go, just zero in this a bit. That makes it quite clear for testing purposes only, so one of the reasons I decided not to have this as the kind of primary thing. Okay, so install now. I think I would, and it should ask me I guess which partition to install on, hopefully. If it doesn't, yeah, well, there's nothing on C drive that is irreplaceable, but I'd rather not have to go through any kind of process because of the fact that it didn't. Here we go. Okay, the license. Am I going to do what no one ever does, which is read the thing? I'll kind of scroll through it, I suppose. I mean, no one reads these, do they? Do I trust Microsoft? Of course I do. But in truth, hardly anyone ever reads these things, and I'm going to do that. So I'll accept the license terms, and this is where you sign your soul away, because if anything goes wrong, you would have read the license right. Okay, click on Next. Right, upgrade to a new version of Windows and keep your file settings and programs. That's I'm not going to do that. Yeah, exactly. So it's found Windows. I booted from this, by the way, so it's found it. I'm going to do this one. Install a new copy, and that tells me quite clearly. Luckily I named the drive that, so it would be clearly recognizable. This is actually, I think some people might be intimidated by this, wondering what it means. So when I created the partition, I called it Windows 7 Beta, and we can see 30 gig partition I created. The recommended settings for Windows 7 Beta is a minimum of 16 gigs of hard drive space. I thought, okay, double it more or less, so 30. Because I'm installing it fresh, and I will be trying it out with some of the applications I've got. So that's the one where I want to do it. So I must absolutely make sure that that is selected, which it is, before I hit the next button. I'm not going to look through. Well, actually, let's look. Okay, fine. I don't need to do that. So I'm going in that one, and therefore I'm now going to hit the next button. Right, okay, fine. That's all the information we need right now. You can put a restart several times during installation. So it's copying the files. It is doing that process. So what I'll do is come back to this once it is doing its, once I'm getting through to the customizing stage. So this is very similar to what Windows Vista did. Whether this will provide some screens that tell you a little bit about the operating system, I suspect it might, but I'm not going to sit here just filming all of that. So it's gone that process, it's gone past that, I guess it's now on that bit. Yes, you can see the progress bar. So we'll come back to this a bit later. Okay, it's still going through its completion, but one thing that's just happened is that the screen has now come out at the resolution that the screen hardware actually supports. It's identified the screen. Good to see that it fits from edge to edge everywhere. I remember, I think it was XP, during the beta testing of XP, which I did, there were issues with, actually it might have been Vista Beta, I don't remember offhand, but there were issues with some of the hardware and the video drivers, when they were identified, if it was a certain type of resolution, where the actual image area didn't fit to the edges, and this does perfectly. It's funny how you notice that. But it looks much better, doesn't it? Much crisper. It's identified it. This thing still hasn't moved very far. Where's the whole bar? There it is. It's kind of about, you can see that colour difference, you probably can't. It still looks about 60%. I still think this should say a little bit more information, just to let you know what's happening, rather than just simply completing installation. But this is a beta, so maybe that's something that's coming. And I would certainly expect the final version that's released to do that. But still, I'm not alarmed about anything so far.